Alright, this is Vegeta8259 again, and today I'm going to be doing a review of Master Grade XS Gundam. If you saw my previous video, I got this last week, and it took me 2 days to put it together, but I did finally get him built. Since he's such a massive figure, model, excuse me, I'll just keep this review pretty simple, just go over the basics, and on the second part of the review I'll show him off in his transformed versions and with his conversion kit that I got a few months ago. Alright, so let's get started. As you can see, he is absolutely massive. Let me get another 1/100 scale just for comparison. This is XS Gundam next to 1/100 scale RX-78. This is the 1 Year War version. As you can see, he's over twice as massive. It's almost 3 times. I mean, he's at least twice as tall. And, well, he's almost twice as tall if you count him at the feet, but just on the ground, including the base, he's gigantic. And, of course, he comes with his little core fighter, which has its own little attachment for the base, which I thought was nice. I'll just go over this first. Pretty simple. It's really nice looking, though. The front part looks exactly like the original RX-78's core fighter, so I thought that was kind of cool. To transform it, you just fold these wings in, push the nose cone in, flip it down, and there you go. Now there is a core fighter inside XS Gundam right now. I haven't read Sentinel yet, so the core fighter that's inside XS is very different from this one. I'm pretty sure they're interchangeable. Like I said, I haven't read Gundam Sentinel, so I don't know what the deal is with the core fighters. It shows in the manual they can combine together, so I don't know what's going on there, but I guess I'll find out when I read it. Let's see, let's get the accessories out of the way first. He's got a beam smart gun, which, I don't know if you can see from here, it's attached to his waist via this little arm thingy, and it's got several points of articulation in it, so it can, I mean, he can hold it over to the side, he can hold it in the middle, pretty much anywhere he wants it to go, he can have it. It's kind of hard to get disconnected. Alright, so I'll just disconnect it there. Anyway, it's really long. It's about 10 inches long. It's got this little radome here that's also flexible. The handle goes in and out. And it's supposed to have a clear piece here for the scope. I left that off because it'd be a real pain trying to get it back out when I get around to the painting process, but overall a very, very nice looking gun, I have to say. Alright, let's get into XS Gundam himself. As you can see, he's pretty much the standard Gundam colors, white, blue, red, a little bit of yellow. The difference on XS Gundam is he's got a little bit of orange on him right here on the front waist piece and on the end of these gigantic propellant tanks. He's also got a dark gray for the joints. Let's give you a little back view. You can see these massive thrusters back here. I will go ahead and say that this is probably the most challenging master grade I've had to put together. I mean, this guy gave me about as much trouble as a perfect grade Wing Zero custom. But I think a lot of that was due to the fact I kept putting the wrong size screws in the wrong places. So that got me kind of frustrated, but hopefully if any of you build this kit, you won't do something stupid like that. Anyway, articulation. The thing about XS Gundam's articulation is he has a lot of articulation, but due to the bulk of this kit, he really can't use that articulation too well. Like, his arms are able to go 360, but they can't because of these massive boosters in the back. He kind of makes up for it by having a really flexible... His shoulder armor and his shoulder joint are independent, so they don't move together like on a lot of regular master grades. See, even when his shoulder armor is still, he can still move his arm forward and backward and in and out. So yeah, he's got standard articulation at the elbows. He's got a double jointed wrist. I thought that was kind of cool. He's got the normal ball joint at the wrist that kind of wiggles around, and then he's got another joint right here where it goes like that. So it gives him just a little bit wider range of flexibility. Hands are standard master grade hands, ball joint thumb, movable fingers with the index separate. These giant propellant tanks are on a ball joint, not a ball joint. They're on a peg system, or it's got a joint here and a joint inside the propellant tank. And I just dropped a piece off of him. Anyway, also these little fins. I don't know if you can see it. I'll move the camera. These little fins up here at the top are on a ball joint, and they can come out like so and kind of move around. Not really useful in his robot mode, but that's part of the transformation in his G Cruiser mode. Head, pretty much standard articulation. It's just on a ball joint, so it goes up and down. Although he's got this cool little feature on his head. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit. Well, the screen just went black. Oh, my zoom doesn't seem to be working, so I'll just move it closer. On his head, the front red piece on the forehead moves forward, and this little red thingy comes out of his head. Again, I haven't read Sentinel, so I don't really know what that is or does, but it's there, and it's a nice little feature, I guess. Whew. This may end up being a 3-part review. So with that in mind, let's try to speed it up. He doesn't have front skirts, but his side skirts are more or less just beam cannons attached on a several peg joints, which makes it really, really flexible. You can go forward, back, out, in, pretty much wherever you need it to go. His leg joints, his legs are also on a peg system, so they could go really far forward, but if not for the side armor, they obviously can't go back very far due to the giant boosters. He's got right here, he's got a swivel joint, so he can move like that. His knees bend a little bit. His knee armor moves up and down. And his feet, he's got a bit of flexibility in his ankles, not much. So, well, alright. Let's see, did I forget anything? Probably. He's got a little bit of articulation here in the back. These thrusters weren't really meant to move. They're clipped in place, but they do have a little bit of range. These little white thingies move. These little flaps on the thrusters move. And this giant stabilizer goes up and down. So, I think this does it for part 1. I'll be back for part 2 and show you him XS in his transformed version and with his conversion kit.